5 seconds remaining.
All right, folks, we are here with day one of the MPGL 2018 season. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is Clutch Gamers versus PepeHands. We got a lot of action coming for you here in the next month and a half of these group stages. We have two groups, two round-robin groups, 8 teams per group. All group matches are best of 2. And we're getting things started in Group A with Clutch Gamers versus PepeHands. So, again, pretty standard stuff. Round robin. Each win, 2-0 rather, will give you 3 points. A 1-1 draw is 1.02. Obviously, no points. So, one of these teams trying to get out on top and starting to get to a good spot in these group stages. Of course, Clutch Gamers, a team that's probably very favored in this particular group. Other than them, there's Boom ID, Taskus Titans, Mega Oris, Alpha Red, Detonator, Signify, and PepeHands in Group A. So a lot of teams that we know of, and a few teams that we don't, including this PepeHands team that might be familiar to some of the Southeast Asian people, but not a team that I don't believe I've seen them recently. On the other side, Execration, Geek Fam, Evos, Neon Atomic, Team No Throne, Water, Aggressive Slayer, and Exit Wounds, spelled X-I-T, and has a Z at the end of it. It's a pretty dank name, actually. It's pretty good stuff. So, thanks for joining us today. My name is Mont. Joining me tonight should be Trent, but he is not currently here. Either there's some issue, which I hope is not the case, or he, I don't know, is AFK. I'm not sure what the deal is, but he'll hopefully be here for the next few games, as we do have 4 games total tonight, so not that many. There is another set of games being played. I believe that'll be on a different channel, and you can check it out. I'm sure they'll have some more information about where those games are as well. But for tonight, we got PepeHands versus Clutch Gamers. You know, we're really starting to get into this new patch. A lot of changes, of course. The big thing, roaming positions kind of changing with the change of the bounty runes. A lot of dual lanes happening now because of that as well. And MDL, you saw a lot of different changes coming out, a lot of heroes coming in, but still a lot of similar heroes that we've seen over the past few months, including Omni Knight has been picked up a lot. Naga's still being banned. Io has been really strong recently. Io Gyrocopter making a comeback. Brax tweeted about this. In fact, I talked with him a little bit about it, and it's not that surprising considering that they're just always good, strong heroes. Gyrocopter has been in the meta for a few months now, probably even more so than that. Going back to the Bucharest Major, I thought he might be nerfed a little bit more, and he wouldn't be picked up as often, but that's still happening clearly. So, interesting picks. There's a Nature's Prophet first pick for PepeHands, a hero that is kind of annoying to play against. Obviously, a lot of these pros, especially on Clutch Gamer side, they've played against many different teams with many different strategies, so they're no strangers to Nature's Prophet, but it's just a hero that you have to play differently around. You have to worry about him split pushing and TPing into team fights, other things that can be a nuisance. They also have good push now in the Beastmaster coming out for PepeHands. Beastmaster with the Helm of the Dominator, Nature's Prophet coming out, getting some treants as well. They can take down towers really quickly, and it also helps that Bane can... He's got some decent damage. So this is a pretty good start for PepeHands. Again, a lot of global presence. They have Roar. They have the Hawk to get vision. They can TP in with the Nature's Prophet. The only way this could get more global is if they picked a Tinker and they did a Beastmaster Tinker combination, which I don't expect. I don't know if Tinker's in a really good spot right now. But anyway, on the other side for Clutch Gamers, they have Witch Doctor, still a very good support hero. Sand King still in a really good spot. One of the best initiating heroes if you can get that Blink Dagger, and then Gyrocopter, one of the best heroes to fight early on into the game with Call Down. You get level 6, Phase Drum. I don't know if that's been the build recently, but there's still a lot we're going to learn here in the next few days. So very excited to be casting SEA Dota. I have been awake at night all throughout this last week to get ready, to prepare myself, and I'm ready to cast these 4 games for you. So we'll see how things turn out. Well, anyway, I think the other game was supposed to be Detonator versus Taskus Titans. I'm not sure if they've gotten Detonator in the lobby. It doesn't look like that game has started, so we just have the one game going on for now. Elder Titan picked up. Elder Titan Sand King seems pretty good. A lot of lockdown. Fighting into an Elder Titan, never fun. You have an Elder Titan to kind of be the bodyguard for Gyrocopter. He kind of just runs in and he punches people, and you have the Gyrocopter sitting behind him and able to get a lot of damage out with his ultimate. So it's exciting to see this particular combination for Clutch Gamers. 2 melee heroes. They will really need to rely on this Sand King Blink Dagger or these stomps for the Elder Titan. But we will see. Alright. So phase drum still pretty popular on gyrocopters. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for it this game for clutch gamers. What else has been being picked up a lot? What do they still need? Witch Doctor, Sand King. So you have your offlaner and Sand King, Witch Doctor, Elder Titan support duo, gyrocopter, probably played in the safe lane. Looking for your mid laner for clutch gamers. We've seen, I think, we could probably see a Razor mid, potentially Death Prophet. Speaking of Razor, there he goes for PepeHands. OD, still pretty popular, I would say. What else is there that's available? Like I said, Death Prophet. We've seen a couple of Vipers here and there. What would fit with this draft? I feel like clutch gamers kind of need some push of their own. I would not be surprised. I don't think DP... Oh, it is banned. Clutch gamers banned it out first phase. Okay, I thought it was still available. That might have been a good pick for them. Lena has been picked a couple times pretty recently. I think Lena's actually kind of in a good spot. I really would have liked Razor for clutch gamers, but I think it really worked well for PepeHands. And that might have been too much early game team fight potential for clutch gamers. They might want to rely on something more late game centric. You could go DK here if you're clutch gamers. It's I think tried and true mid laner if they want to put it in that role, although it's been played in a bunch of different roles recently. But no, I think it's probably, even like Mineski played it mid pretty recently, like a few days ago at MDL. I'm trying to think of what else there is. I really do think they need some pushing. Gyrocopter's not the best. I mean, he has phase drum, so he can start hitting towers, but the rest of their team, Sand King's awful at it. Elder Titan's okay if you can get some creeps and his Astral over some heroes. You have Voodoo Restoration, which helps with the Witch Doctor, but they definitely could use some more tower damage, and I'm not really sure what they want to do. But we still have another band coming up from PepeHands to see what that's going to be. They have plenty of push already and team fight. They have the Beastmaster Roar Initiation. They have the Razor AoE damage. Beastmaster offlane, Razor probably safe lane. Bane, Nature's Prophet, maybe played in a 4-5 position. And then you pick a mid hero here. So I think both teams could go for a mid. You could also send the Razor mid. Maybe a Nature's Prophet mid if they're feeling gutsy. I'm not sure gutsy is the right word, but it is going to be the Quap. So they are going to send the Quap mid, and now you're looking for a matchup that you can do okay against the Quap. Also, it's kind of a counter pick in case they think, okay, clutch gamers are going to pick the Quap. That's pretty good against the team that we have. So now the question is, what do you want to do? You could go Shadow Fiend, although I think you kind of have a tough time against Quap if you're in that matchup. Puck would be another good one, but it's not really played in the mid as often. It's not picked as much anymore, at least over the last few days. I still think it's a pretty good hero. DK is still available, and DK does fine against Quap because you don't really take any damage from Shadow Strike when you get Dragon Blood. So there's a couple of different scenarios, a couple of different options here for clutch gamers. And remember, this is the first game. Every win is going to count here towards getting to the... First of all, it's important to... It is Ember Spirit. I was actually going to say something about this, but first of all, it's important to note that this game, of course, in fact, these group stages, very important. The top, the leader at the end of the group stages will get to immediately the offline final. So it's really important to get as many wins as you possibly can. And, of course, if you're second or below, you still have a chance at the playoffs to getting to the offline final, but you have to go through another stage of playing. Whereas for a team like Clutch Gamers, they want to get off to a very fast start, and they will do so by having the Gabby Ember Spirit, which is very exciting. Look at these sets. My God. Everybody has something ridiculous. This Elder Titan set from Boombox is pretty good. The most mediocre I think they have is the Skylark Sand King, which is not his fault. I mean, he's just got the mask here, but this Gyrocopter set, pretty ridiculous. Even PepeHands has a decent lineup in terms of cosm. Well, maybe not. Bane doesn't have anything. Quap and Razor and Nature's Prophet are carrying low load, but we'll see if they switch it up and try to get more cosmetics. So we shall see how this goes. Oh, we had a pause. Uh-oh. All right, somebody disconnected. I was wondering why they weren't moving. The animations weren't going, but should be fine. Into the game we go. Very excited to see how this one turns out. Excited to see what PepeHands can do against a team that is as good as Clutch Gamers is. The last time I saw them, I think at the Super Major qualifiers, they didn't have the best run. You know, Fnatic, gosh. What was that? I'm not remembering the team. The Prime NND had a good run in that particular tournament, but now we get some more SEA action here, and we'll see Clutch Gamers move together as 5. We'll check out the items real quick. They'll even smoke. They're probably going to try for a first blood attempt. Gabby's going to try to get an early Aquila, it looks like. He already has a stout shield to work with and a quelling blade. Double regen for the Elder Titan. And Skylark, he's got a ward. Is this going to be an offlane Elder Titan? I think it might, actually. He's got a lot of regen. He doesn't have a quelling blade or anything. Not that he needs it, because he's an Elder Titan. He does 1 million damage anyway. There's a very good chance Cat is going to break this smoke, and they won't be able to get anything with it. I think he's going to... Yep, there it is. Cat's going to break it. He has no vision. Now he sees it. The Burrow Strike misses from Skylark. That was a good attempt. They needed to go with the Astral first into the Burrow Strike, but it looks like they kind of just got a little too swept up in trying to find that kill. And this might be dewarded. They knew they came over in that direction. They have a sentry on Z-Red, so I'm not sure how long that ward is going to last. Anyway, I know you're missing the color commentary that Trent Pax would provide. I hope everything's okay with him. He is currently not here, and I'm not sure if he's going to show up, although I would like to think that he will at some point in the near future. Clearly not in this game. It is going to be a Boombox Elder Titan in the offlane, and Skylark, we'll see. We'll see who gets the... Both of them could get farm here. I'm not really sure. All right, Ajit moving up top. He's playing the Gyrocopter. They've dropped a ward down. They've got some decent vision in lane. And they actually have 2 lane wards in both lanes. That's pretty good stuff. Insidious is already going to drop up the Treants. He's going to get a couple of auto attacks off. He will have the help of Tootie on the Beastmaster. It's going to be a support Nature's Prophet more than likely. He has the Orb of Venom doing some decent damage. Yol is going to take the Wild Axes as well. This is not going to be the most fun lane, I think, for at least the support. Ajit might do fine, but base damage of Nature's Prophet's still pretty good. In the meantime, Elder Titan running bottom, trying to find the kill on Cat. They need one more auto attack, but he actually salves up perfectly. And now Skylark might be the one in trouble. He'll have to back away. Z-Red hitting him with the Bane auto attacks won't find the kill. Well, it looks like it's the Skylark Sand King. I got ahead of myself. I really wanted to see an Elder Titan core, of course. Not happening. But he is providing a lot of harassment. So, again, dual lanes becoming very common in this current meta, especially with the fact that roaming has been changed drastically. I do think that a hero like a Nature's Prophet is very good in this type of meta where you could TP in, you could find bounty runes at 5 minutes, you could find kills. Stomp coming bottom, the Burrow Strike comes out, it looks like the Stomp is going to go, and it does hit. Static Link coming in, they can't fight this. Skylark has to run, Boombox is going to get turned on, he's going to get slapped about 3 times. One more auto attack, but Can't doesn't have enough move speed to get the kill. He actually is going to survive. Yeah, he's alive somehow. Although the Nature's Prophet is TPing in, he's going to get 1 auto attack. No, he needs 2. The Plasma Field, it doesn't matter. Insidious C gets first blood. Pretty good start for the Radiant team. They've got a lot of decent CS going on. Gabby taking some harass from Fixers in the mid lane. The level 2 Shadow Strike. Okay. Exciting stuff, folks. Real great. A lot of action. This is the great thing about dual lanes. It's really... There's just so much action in the early game. It's pretty easy to miss, too. Z-Red's going to get Burrow Strike. Skylark is going to get that kill with Boombox actually securing the last hit, but he will maybe fall. I cannot believe he's actually not dead. He's going to salve up. Plasma Field will cancel it with 1 more auto attack, so he does waste a little time, and he does go down. But they did secure the kill onto the Bane, who was a little low, and I'm surprised he stayed. But now it's 3 heroes down bottom. Insidious C with the rotation. His TP is back up, plus he has a TP scroll if he wants to go back top. The Beastmaster is having a pretty great time. 10 last hits. Compared to the Sand King, who was at 4. I'd say this is going pretty well overall for PepeHands. This is a pretty damn good start. But, you know, I always talk about this, but it's like 3 minutes into the game. It can change drastically. I get so swept up on the early, you know, laning stage that it's tricky. You got to think about what clutch gamers have in the tank for a late game. They have an Ember Spirit, who is doing probably... Yeah, he's doing fine. He's 13 last hits. Ajit's still getting farmed. They're going to TP in onto Yol top lane. He's got Voodoo Restoration. He's going to go for a TP. It's going to be close, and he will get out. They needed 1 more auto attack from the 2 of them, and they couldn't quite find it. Good effort, but now down bottom. Stomp coming in onto Z-Red. He tried to get the Brain Sap off. He still has it. He's going to use it. Skylark will have to walk away. His Burrow Strike is down for another 4 seconds. And Cat will continue to farm. He's actually only at 11 last hits, so between the 2 safe laners, it's not the most CS. They're getting pretty harassed by the offlaners, but Ajit obviously having flat cannon will help him out later into the game. Now Gabby's starting to get a lot of work done. In fact, he almost kills Fixer here. He does have a Fairy Fire. Gabby doesn't have one. The Shadow Strike is going to bring him down, maybe. One more auto attack. You don't even need it. The Shadow Strike, he actually almost survived. That would have been really bad for Fixers, but the Shadow Strike did take him down. Good Fairy Fire. And that could have been a huge kill for Gabby. Instead, it goes the other way. Ajit, in the meantime, Rocket Barrage. This is where Treants really come into handy. Ajit's going to throw up the homing missile. Not going to do that much damage. Insidious C, really good micro from the Treants, plus he had 2D running over. And that's where Rocket Barrage could be better. Not dealing with those Treants very well. Well, all right then. 3-1, but it feels like it's been more action-packed than the kill score indicates. I think a lot because of the rotations from the Nature's Prophet. Cat's going to come in. He's got the static link. Skylark is there with the Burrow Strike. He can use it. Cat's going to take some damage from the Stomp, and I don't know if they're going to get anything done with this. He does have boots, but Boombox already does as well, and he's pretty speedy. That is 112 damage stolen, but Cat doesn't want to walk up high ground. There's a chance he gets Burrow Struck, and he just dies to another Stomp or a couple of auto attacks from the Elder Titan. A severe lack of vision for both teams. In fact, the only ward was just placed recently, and it's close to this small camp. Not really... it's not going to block either of the camps, but it's going to get some nice vision for the poles when Clutch Gamers go for it. In spite of losing a couple of heroes in the early game and kind of getting out last hit, they have really come back. Ajit now second in last hits with Gabby being first at this point with 29. And despite that death, Gabby's still doing pretty well. He is a little bit behind that of the Quap, and that kill is really going to provide a lot. In the meantime, they're going for Insidious C, the homing missile. He does have Treants. That's a Rocket Barrage doing a lot of damage, and I think with a couple of auto attacks, they might just get the kill. They don't even need the Rocket Barrage. Chudi's going to try to go. They have the Quap TPing in with a Haste Rune, and Ajit's the one that is in trouble. He is now dead as Fixer's going to look for a blink. He's got one available. Plus Sonic Wave. Skylark gets a double kill down bottom. They've got the Wild Axes going in. Fixer's still looking for a couple auto attacks and a double kill with Scream of Pain. And that is one of the most fortuitous haste runes you're going to find. Not that he really needed it. He TP'd in as they were diving the tower. And that aggressive play from Ajit, yes, it gets them the kill on the Nature's Prophet. I'm not sure it's that worth it in the end because the Quap keeps getting more and more farmed. But they did get that double kill down bottom with Skylark, which that was just level 4. It's not like he had Epicenter or anything. They must have just hit a good stomp and a Burrow Strike and had plenty of damage. Who died in that double kill? Cat, I think just both of the heroes that were bottom, looks like, yeah. So that's interesting. Well, all right then. Phase boots done already for the Nature's Prophet. This is where things get a little dangerous here for this Clutch Gamers team. Speaking of dangerous, Z-Red, Nightmared up, the Stomp is going to miss. They're going to static link. Skylark is going to have to Burrow Strike himself down to safety, and he will do so. Boombox going for a TP. And he almost made it out, but the TP took a little too long, and the transfer there with a couple of auto attacks to get the kill. Yep. And the phase boots come in at just the perfect time to get enough damage to secure the kill. Still pretty close, though. Net worth graph is favoring PepeHands by just a little bit, but they had a higher lead a little bit earlier. Call down onto 2D. He's going to go for the TP. It's going to be close to homing missile. It makes it there. Even if it didn't make it there, I think he's still dead. Again, the TP took a little too long. And that puts Ajit up on the top of the net worth. Skylark now kind of getting dove by Ket. They've got the Burrow Strike. They've got the Stomp. The combination's going to be there. Gabi coming in with the Searing Chains. They should have enough damage to get the kill, and they even Remnant from Gabi. They don't even need it to get the kill, but they do. And that will secure it. So nice rotation bottom. He has Fire Remnants to work with now. He's level 7. He's working on his bots. And even if you were kind of getting run at early game, I think you're not that concerned for Clutch Gamers. But the big issue also is, again, they don't have that much tower push. So maybe PepeHands can start utilizing the tower push that they have to their potential. Beastmaster's only level 5. He doesn't have any of the Call of the Wild, of course, the new, not new build, but the build that has been pretty popular recently with Wild Axes. So that won't provide them the most tower push, but he still does decent tower damage anyway. Alright, Z-Red's dead. And Cat might be dead too. Actually, he's going to turn it around. Static Link, 110 damage stolen. Skylark, one auto attack away from death, but he does get off the stick in time. Salve going pretty nicely. There's going to be the Burrow Strike into the Stomp, but Cat's still pretty tanky, and he still has that 110 damage, and Skylark cannot afford to be hit by Cat. He does get hit by the Plasma Field, but that's not going to be enough to get the kill. They are going to Quap, jump in with the Blink, and get the kill. And now they've got the Sprout. Boombox is going to TP. This one should work, I think. Yeah, that one will be able to make him out to safety, but the last one, not so lucky. It's pretty dangerous. Yol looking for 2D, now getting some room to work with top. So he was doing really well earlier in the lane, but since the Nature's Prophet has left, he's kind of been struggling. The Nature's Prophet almost does as much as the Beastmaster. And then the Cat Razor also pretty close to these two heroes, which is kind of interesting. And I think that's where this slight advantage for PepeHands is coming from, that and the fact that the Quap is the top net worth hero. But it might not be for long once Gabby gets these bots. Okay, I missed that kill. They are fighting bottom. Boy, are they fighting. They've got the Astral call down. Cat still pretty tanky. He had the raindrops coming in, plus he had 7 stick charges. Decided not to use them. I'm not sure. Even if he did it, I don't think it would have kept him alive. Skylark gets a little bit low, but now he's up to level 6. He's working on his early Blink Dagger. Once they get that item, things start really going well, I think, for Clutch Gamers. Still, top lane, Yol's going to get caught. They've got the Sprout if they want it. They're going to use the cast. Maldic comes out. 2D might actually... If they rotated another hero, and they probably could have gotten that kill, but he's going to TP to safety, which was a nice play. The rest of them were fighting bottom, so... A smart engagement coming in from PepeHands.
Double damage empowers me.
All right. Whoa. Somebody accidentally used their Cyrillic on the keyboard. I'm assuming that says wait or something. I don't know. Or lag. I don't know what it is, but we'll probably have to take a second here. Man, I like this admin. He gets on the case immediately. He's very sure. He was like this in the lobby, too. He's very sure of himself. He's running a tight ship, and I like that. Makes it all the better. And I don't think this pause is going to take very long, so they don't need to worry that much. As we can see, Boombox is just reconnected, so it's all fine. Great stuff. All right, FaZe Aquila now drum being worked on for the Gyrocopter as expected. The classic combination for Gyrocopter nowadays, FaZe, Aquila, drum, wand even pretty good. And this will lead them to a lot of early game team play potential. And they also have the safety of the bot's Ember Spirit for the late game if they can get to that point. I like also what Clutch Gamers are doing. Again, they don't have the best push, but they see that top tier 1 is getting pushed down. They're going to try to at least turn it around and at least secure our trade. And that looks to be the case. So that without drum, so it's pretty good. Against a pushing team, this is pretty good if they can get... well, they're going to lose mid, which is the other issue. If it was a trade 1-for-1, it would be fine, but that's not the case. They might find Gabby mid, but Ajit is here. They're going to TP in Skylark. The TP will take a year and a half. They do have a Remnant. They're going to go for a Searing Chains. He has a Shadow Amulet. They're going to call down. They have the Burrow Strike. They have the Epicenter. I think this will be enough damage. The Sonic Wave comes in from the Quap. They're going to turn it around. 2D's still alive. They're looking for Skylark. They might be able to find him with another blink here. In about 3 seconds, Skylark should fall. They're going to send the Trance. He denies himself. Nicely done, knowing that he had nowhere else to go. It is going to be a 2-for-0, really a 1-for-0. Great Queen of Pain Sonic Wave from Fixers. I mean, they really committed pretty hard for that Beastmaster, and they somehow couldn't find the kill. Strength Hero is too strong. And they'll find the tier 1 mid as well as the tier 1 top. I don't believe it was denied. It was not. So that's huge. All right, then. Big fight. They were able to stop the Gyrocopter from spiraling out of control and snowballing and finding those kills. If they win that fight, he backs up. He's already well on his way to his BKB, but that's not the case. Hell, in fact, he might not have gone BKB had he not died there. The Ember Spirit still survives. His bots are here now, so they have that to work with. You can start splitting the map. They're going to try to find a fight, though. There's a grip, actually, onto Yol, but the grip's not doing enough. They shouldn't have Sonic Wave available. They don't. Static Link comes out. It's still there, but this is going to be a dead Razor along with it. They don't even need the Earth. They're going to secure the kill regardless. They're trying to find Fixers. He's blinking away in 5 seconds, but he does have the homing missile on him. I don't think they want to die to the tier 1 tower. So 1 fight win for PepeHands turns right back into 1 fight win for Clutch Gamers. And we're pretty much even up here. There's a slight advantage going to PepeHands still, but again, it's going to go back in favor of Clutch Gamers now that Gabby's starting to get a lot more farm. Working on his Maelstrom. And a Lincoln Sphere. However, he is going to get roared. They have the rolling axes. That should be enough damage, and it is. Did he have a Remnant? I think so. He did, but it wouldn't have mattered. Roar is so good against this Ember Spirit. You have the physical damage of the Wild Axis as well, and that's why he's building a Lincoln Sphere. It's not surprising considering the state of the game. Now there's a Shadow Blade as well for the Beastmaster, not going for a Necrobook, obviously. He doesn't have Call of the Wild. This is the right build, I think, considering the build that he's got. Nightmare, not the best timing, but Yol should still be dead. He's going to try to deny. Can't quite get it, though. Ancient Prowler Shaman's probably the best unit to try it against, considering how much damage it does, and the fact that it has a root, but not able to get it. So 2 quick kills put PepeHands back in the lead in 1K. So back and forth we go. It's a great name, by the way, PepeHands. Good stuff. They've also got a nice little team icon. You know. It's not the best I've seen, but it's pretty good. Skylark almost has Blink. That's where this game gets a little trickier for PepeHands. That and the Elder Titan now has his urn. He's working on an Atos, which I really like in this game. Trying to lock down the Queen of Pain is a very big issue, I think. Ajit getting a little more room to work with. I think we're going to see a smoke here. They're all getting together. They have the Blink. They are ready to go. They're trying to fight, but it seems to be that Fixers and Tootie know something is going on, although maybe not. Cat's down bottom. This is going to be the target. They do have Z-Red behind him. They have a smoke of their own if they want to try to get something done. They have a ward. They have a vision of Z-Red, but Cat still, he's going to get spotted now by the creep wave. They're going to jump in. They have the Burrow Strike. They will use it. They've got the Searing Change if they need it. They actually get off the nice Nightmare, but it's still going to be Cat being killed. Gabby does take a lot of damage. They've got the Roar. They're going to turn it around. It's a 1-for-1. Sonic Wave goes. Doesn't do that much damage. The Fiend's Grip. Boombox gets off a knife. Nice Earth Splitter. It's going to be a 2-for-2 at the end of it. He's going to try to get the Stomp off, and he does. He'll try for the TP. It's going to be close. I think he's going to be able to get out. Insidious, he somehow did not have enough damage. He didn't have his drum. Had he had it, that's probably a kill. Skylark wants to go back in. Fixer's not the target. They want to try to find Tootie, but they need more damage. Shadowblade comes in, and they notice that somebody's around. They're actually just going to get to the shrine. Skylark and Ajit will get away. So at the end of the fight, it's pretty even. A little extra gold going for Clutch Gamers because they killed the Razor, but they lose the Ember Spirit on their own team. That's pretty significant. He is, however, working on a Yule Scepter instead of trying to go for a Lincoln Sphere, which I'm surprised about. I know they're going to have an Orchid pretty soon with the Nature's Prophet and even the Queen of Pain, but yeah, I guess Lincoln Sphere just feels safer, I suppose, but I guess if you get silenced twice, it doesn't matter. You're probably dead anyway, so having Yules is going to be helpful in that regard. It's tricky to itemize, and as long as the game goes late enough anyways, he'll get to that point. Well, that's a dead Cat. He died in the same spot he died last fight. That's unfortunate. And they're going to realize pretty quickly that this is warded, or that they just need to be careful down bottom when there's a creep wave there. And Ajit quietly farming up his BKB, getting very close. So that one death didn't put him back that much in the mid lane. It's a very close game, actually. And even with the Nature's Prophet, they haven't really been able to do too much in tower pushing. They got both of the tier 1s earlier, but since then, nothing else has happened. It's pretty tricky fighting into an Elder Titan and the Sand King with Blink Dagger, so.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Roar. Static Link. This is a pretty bad fight if they take it for Clutch Gamers. They might just let Skylark die. Death Ward is going to go, though, from Yol. It's actually a lot of damage. They're turning it around. Sonic Wave, but Fixers doesn't really hit anybody with it. He's actually going to get killed. The Earth Splitter comes in, takes down the Bane as well. Now they're turning it around. So I spoke way too soon. Clutch Gamers turned it with a beautiful Death Ward. They drop a sentry. He's going to run into another one. He needs to be careful. He is pretty speedy. Shadowblade's still going for it, but he has the Maledict on him. It might actually be enough to kill him. He does have 5 stick charges, and it does actually bring him down. Yol doing a nice job in that fight. I think a lot of that engagement might have been the Death Ward. Let's see how much damage he did. That was the Gyrocopter, but he was up there with Gabby on the Earth Spirit. He essentially killed the, I think it was the Razor at the beginning of the fight with the Death Ward. Just showing why Witch Doctor's in a really good spot now. Level 4 Maledict. He's got the cast to work with to get bounces as well. And that's Ajit's BKB. And now, what was once a pretty good start for PepeHands has turned pretty poorly. This Razor is below the Elder Titan. He has no farm. He is trying desperately to get to Yule Scepter, but he's died 7 times in this game. That's the depressing fact for PepeHands, is that they're you know, had they had the Razor being decently farmed, this would be a lead for them now. Instead, it's a 2K lead for Clutch Gamers, and they are trying to take advantage of that. They could probably take Roche if they get a kill. They have Yule's done for Ember Spirit. He's still working on Maelstrom as well as the Lincoln Sphere, which he's actually going to get pretty close to if they can find some kills, which Tootie... Did they dust? I think they did, and he missed it. No, they actually got it. I spoke too soon. Tootie's dead. Remnant and the Flame Guard enough to secure the kill. The question is, can they take Roche? They have the Elder Titan, who's really good if the Radiant wanted to try to go for that, but it looks like we might just see a trade. This tier 1 for the bottom tier 1.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's
Orchid
top
should
tower
just
is under
about
attack.
be done for these. I think the Orchid's coming out now for Fixers.
Are fortified.
Insidious is still a little ways away with the recipe. But this is where things get a bit better for PepeHands. Double Orchid should be enough to secure at least a few of these kills, including Gabi, if he doesn't get off his Dual Scepter. Speaking of Orchid, the Sand King has been silenced. He can't try to find a Burrow Strike. Boombox is going to get killed. They've got the Remnant. They do turn it around to get Fixers. That's the bigger kill on the other side. Aji is running in. They've got the Death Ward. A good TP from Cat. I don't think it's going to be enough. They have to use the Yule Scepter to keep them in place. It might have been able to get out had they not had the Yules, but that is still a kill anyways. Double kill for Skylark. Aji is now dominating 3 for 1. And that's, I think, the 3rd team fight win in a row for Clutch Gamers. So this game's starting to snowball out of control, which is the exact opposite term you want to have happen if you're PepeHands with a Gyrocopter on the other team. It's pretty not great.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, at least the Beastmaster is getting decently farmed. And of course, the Nature's Prophet. This is a support Nature's Prophet that's having a pretty heck of a good game at this point. He's got his Orchid in 20 gold, so that's good.
Radiant's middle tower is
Yol
under
has a
attack.
Buckler. Maybe for Crimson, would not be surprising. That would be a really good item in this game, actually.
Radiant's
Don't think it's
middle
for mech.
tower is under attack.
So, even with these Orchids coming out now, I don't know if there's any way they can win a team fight, even with a good Sonic Wave. They're going to try to go. They did get off the Orchid on Ember Spirit. They've got the Roar. They have another Orchid available. He's actually dead. Okay, well, they didn't even use the second Orchid, and now Skylark's going to get Nightmared up as well. Shadow Strike, Orchids, Fiend's Grip coming out. The rest of the team is coming for Clutch Gamers. I'm not sure they want to fight this, but there's not that much left in the tank for the Radiant. Stomp about to hit on Insidious. See, it does hit onto 2. They're going to drop the Earth Splitter. I don't think it's going to hit onto either, but the Death Ward again, doing too much damage onto Yol, or excuse me, 2D, and he's going to get dropped down. So even when they're fighting 3 versus 5, although technically the rest of the Radiant weren't there, it was 3 versus 3, still does not go that well for PepeHands. They did get a bit more gold because the kill was bigger, taking down the Ember Spirit and the
Radiant's
Sand King,
bottom
but
tower is under attack.
Ajit is now
Dire's top
out of
tower
control.
is under attack.
Gyrocopter showing why this hero is good. Ajit showing why this hero is good. If you can get an advantage in the early game and start snowballing, you're pretty tough to deal with. This Razor, not so much.
Dire's top tower is
He
under
has the Yules finally. I don't really think it's going to matter. He's died in every single fight that he's been a part of, I'm pretty sure.
Dire's
So,
middle tower
now a
is
5k
under
lead.
attack.
It is not surprising how much this graph has dropped since the past few minutes. I'd say it's about accurate. They now have an Atos as well on the Elder Titan. That's not fun for the squad. She's working on a BKB. All right, they smoked on top of a ward. That is a great ward placement and a pretty bad smoke spot. And Skylark, if he dies here, I would be shocked. But he is running to the rest of his team, who in turn might smoke as well, now that they have a Lincoln Sphere coming out on the Gyrocopter. I like the Buckler pickup. It might just be casual. He's nothing else in his quick buy. Is something coming out in the Courier? Lincoln Sphere, that's Ajit's Lincoln that we just talked about, so I don't know what Yol is trying to build into. But a casual Buckler is good nonetheless. Get that extra armor. This 2D Beastmaster thought about going for the Courier. I'm not sure he had enough damage to kill it with one shot. They also had shield available.
Radiant's middle tower is
And
under
the scan
attack.
is successful for the Radiant, so despite not getting a great initiation or finding a kill with that smoke, they're able to back away and force a lot of TPs and get at least a little extra room for the Nature's Prophet and the Beastmaster down bottom. I think this is really all you can do if you're Insidious C and PepeHands. You can't really take a fight, right? I mean, you're fighting into Gyro Lincoln's BKB. You have to split push. You have to use your Beastmaster and Nature's Prophet to your advantage. The unfortunate thing is they don't even have this tier 1 tower down modeled. And this is the lane that they want to push in. But they're going to trade a tier 1 for a tier 2, which is not great, but it's really the only play they have right now because they can't fight into the rest of the team. There's a lot of good vision coming in for the Dire. They know they're not going to get backstabbed. They know that they're not going to get caught by somebody TPing the Shrine. They're in a pretty good spot. I don't think they want to push high ground. I still think they need to take Rosh, and that's probably what they'll do after they take the tier 2 tower top.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
There is at least a ward on the Rosh pit,
Radiant's top tower
which is good news for them.
attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Specifically, PepeHands. I should have clarified.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower.
Insidious C trying not to get caught out. He's a little scared. They will, however, find Z-Raid, who walked up just a bit too far. The Nightmare saves him for literally half a second. They did pop BKB. That was a 10-second BKB, so that's pretty good news. Trading your support away for that 10-second charge is really actually not that big of a deal. They could contest Rosh if they decided to go into it, but they're not. They're going to turn for a fight elsewhere, it looks like. 2D is Shadowblade. He wants to try to find a kill onto Gabby, but... oh, he doesn't have Lincolns yet. He might be able to get this roar. They need some help, though. They have the Orchid, but he's going to Yules it, I would assume. Still a lot of damage. There's the Yules coming out. He should have a Remnant. And Searing Chains, he's trying to Remnant away, and he does actually get out. That was the best-case scenario for PepeHands. They almost had enough damage that Yules after coming in the clutch right there. Now Tootie's going to get the one, be the one that gets jumped on. But unfortunately, he actually goes Shadowblade, so Yolk cannot find the kill. Nor did he have Detection to use when he did use the Death Ward. But all that time, the Gyrocopter's still farming away. He's now up to 15k net worth. That is a 7,500 net worth advantage. He has 2,000 gold for his next item, whether it be Scotty or something else. Fixer's almost dead. The Sonic Wave, he avoids it. No, he doesn't, but he still get off the Orchid. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Insidious, he barely lives, but on the other side, Boombox taking a fight, and they get another 2 kills on Tootie as well as the Bane. Z-Red getting dropped down. This will almost certainly be either a tower or Rosh, just some sort of objective. Whether they want to go for Rosh or tower still remains to be seen. It looks like they want the tier 2 mid anyway. Maybe go for high ground after.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
All right, then.
You have done a great service.
Double damage is going to be stolen by Insidious C. Well, actually, he just takes or destroys it. That's probably the smart move. He would have gotten Blink Burrow struck on if he actually went for it. Still, he might die anyway. Skylark sees him. He does have Blink Burrow. He's got to use it. Epicenter's got to get channeled. And they've got the Atos. He does Orchid off the Boombox Elder Titan. He actually might make it out. That's pretty insane. 2D has been caught, though. The Roar coming in the Fiend's Grip. This could be a good turn, but the Stomp is going to hit, and that completely breaks up the team fight. Skylark is able to Burrow Strike away. Now they can reset if they want to for Clutch Gamers. They can go back in. They have the Gyrocopter. They have Gabby coming in. They're going to Atos up 2D's Beastmaster. Detection-wise, I don't know if they had it, but it doesn't have the Shadow Blade for 5 seconds anyways, so he's dead one way or the other. And they get the Bane as well. So that was not a bad initiation, but they were the ones caught, and they tried to turn it around. This Elder Titan is really difficult to fight into. I would not be surprised if they Band-Aid next game. He's not the only reason why Clutch Gamers are winning, but he's doing a really good job. As you can see here, Nature's Prophet might be dead. Ooh, he actually avoids the Earth Splitter, and now it gets the Orchid onto Boombox. He's going to go for the TP. They have a cast. They can't get it off in time. It does fly out, and maybe it someday will land on Insidious C, but for now, he will make it to safety. Fixer probably dead. Close to his BKB. Had he had that, he probably survives there, but of course, not enough money. Into Rosh we go for Clutch Gamers. They have an 11k lead. The team fight potential, the comeback potential, not really there for PepeHands. They do have really good split push, of course. Fighting into this Elder Titan is a problem. They desperately need these BKBs, and they're not really... They're close, but they don't quite have them yet. I mean, they are essentially like 500 gold away on each one of their heroes that are going for the BKB, but it's not going to matter. At least not yet. Rosh is being taken down slowly but surely as Ajit continues to spam the rocket barrage. They don't have the best Rosh lineup. The boar will come in. Can it get Rosh? No, it's dead already. It got stomped and died immediately because it's a boar that's actually on level 3, so. Still, it does provide PepeHands enough time to get the BKBs on Insidious C. The Quap is edging closer and closer to hers. And the Razor, of course, is like 200 gold away, so. But the big issue remains, it's the gyrocopter. He will have a butterfly and just a couple hundred gold. And when he has that, I'd say he's probably unkillable. I think he's already unkillable at this point, actually. He's died twice. I don't remember when the deaths occurred, but it's not recently. Sell this freaking buckler. He just got a casual buckler. I love it. He's going to go 4-staff next. I guess he's like, all right, I'm not going to have enough money for Crimson Guard. I'd rather get something more useful anyways, even though I think Crimson Guard's pretty good this game. It looks like they're going to build it on a boombox. So he built a casual buckler. They said, listen, don't finish it. I'll grab the Crimson Guard. All we need is the extra armor, which is fair considering this is 90% a physical damage team with the exception of the Bane and the Queen Pain. So that's pretty good.
Take your tribute. The seeds of
in the meantime, Fixer's trying to cut the creep wave. He does some decent damage. On the other side, Insidious C has to pop the BKB. He might still die anyway. They're going to turn onto Gabby, who's going to get off his Remnant in time. They broke the Lincoln Sphere with the Orchid, but of course, with that down, he isn't really going to be locked down enough to get the kill. So that's a 10-second BKB charge forced. That's really good. Nature's Prophet trying to go for the Doom build. Nullifier Orchid. And that is one way to deal with Gabby. The unfortunate thing is I don't know if the game is going to go long enough that he actually gets that item. That's dead. That's actually pretty good. That's Orchid. No BKB used. Might stop them from fighting. They still have the Aegis, but without their death, or excuse me, the Witch Doctor. Oh. They're looking for Insidious C, but this might be a bait. Gabby knows that there's 2 here. He actually might just get the kill on Insidious. That's the BKB popped for Fixers, but he actually has to run. Gabby doesn't have another Remnant, but he does have a Yule Scepter. He's pretty fast. Fixers is now at half HP. He's going to blink away. He'll survive, but the rest of the team is fighting back at the base. They'll maybe get the Aegis here. Cat has to pop his BKB. Ajit gets 1 auto attack from that Razor to death, but he wasn't able to get it. And that was the BKB force from Ajit. He didn't use the Aegis, which would have been really clutch. They didn't get the tier 3 tower. That's actually a pretty good hold for PepeHands. Pushing high ground, not the easiest thing to do against this team. But that is the BKB down for Cat, and that's the issue. He also used his Eye of the Storm there, so. And Gabby is here along with them. Skylark is going to jump onto Tootie, who's in trouble. He will Shadow Blade. They don't have detection. They do get the Searing Chains. They do actually have the gem on Gabby. That's all they needed. And he has no buyback. Static Link, that'll be a full Static Link onto Boombox and Fiend's Grip, but they don't get the kill. Cat has 148 damage. The issue is that he's not really doing that much. Ajit trying to get the kill. This might be the Aegis. I don't think he's really concerned if he does lose the Aegis, and he does. He has Butterfly, the homing missile. I don't think he's going to get the kill on the Cat. In fact, he's going to be able to get away from it in time. They haven't actually taken racks. Did they force any buybacks out there? I don't think so. No. That was Aegis. They dove pretty hard. They got a kill on the Beastmaster. Razor actually did a lot of work against Butterfly Gyrocopter. That's kind of surprising they were able to bring him down even once. Unfortunate stuff for Clutch Gamers, not able to finish this game off. But pretty exciting that it's still kind of available for PepeHands. They can still take this. It's going to be difficult, clearly. One thing they can do is smoke. They're going to run right into Skylark. They have detection. They drop a sentry, but he blinks away instantly. That is unfortunate. This is really aggressive. They get off the Sprout. Skylark gets forced away. BKB popped by Cat. They at least want one of these heroes. Can they find it? The Roar comes out on the other side. They want Ajit. I don't think they have the damage. He pops a BKB. Gabby jumps in back the other side of the fight. 2D has to run, so too does Fixers. This fight now going pretty disastrously for PepeHands. And this might be what they need for Clutch Gamers to actually take high ground. That was pretty ballsy for PepeHands. That was one of those situations where you're just like, well, we're really down a ton of gold. And we kind of just want to, we're sick of waiting. We want to make something happen. But you know how those things usually go. They end up with this happening. You have to buy back, and you might just lose racks anyway. Searing Chains from Gabby working on Insidious C, who is dead. Almost dead. He does a BKB. The Bro Strike. All right, he should be dead here. He pops the BKB only to die a second later. They get off a Sleight of Fist to secure another kill. That'll be onto the Beastmaster. Skylark will get dropped down. Gabby doing more than enough damage with the help of the rest of his team. He's got to jump back in onto Z-Red, who's already used Grip. And the Nightmare will save him for a moment, but the Call Down plus Atos combination will stop him right in his tracks and secure yet another kill. An Ajit godlike spree, if you will. And in spite of losing that Aegis, he is still unkillable. They're going to take racks off this. There's a double damage at Roche, which they see. But Roche is not up yet. Of course, it was just taken down. Gabby jumps back in, forces the BKB of Cat. He has no static link. It's already off of him, and it's on cooldown for 20 seconds, so all of his damage is just gone. Ajit just runs in with his BKB and finds an easy kill. Fixers is going to try to man-fight Gabby, but he's very speedy. They've taken down 4, the last of which, of course, Fixer's trying to stay alive. They have buyback on the Razor. He may very well use it. They're going to get the Stomp, though. That is a dead Queen of Pain, and that should probably do it here in Game 1. Well, that was quite the game. Although it's not over yet. Insidious actually, wow, I didn't even know this was happening. I don't think the Radiant knew, or excuse me, the Dire knew either. He will go for BKB TP. In the meantime, the Bane will die. So he'll get at least the range racks, and he'll try to cut the creep wave, I think, for the rest of the game. Surprised that he was able to get that done. There's no tier 2, so they can go for the tier 3 top if they want to. Again, Roche still dead for another minute at least. And Clutch Gamers, it looked a little dicey in the early game, but they're proving that they're one of the top teams in this group, I think, with this win alone. Obviously, there's still a long road for both of these teams, and it's not the end of the world if PepeHands lose this. It is a 2-game series, so who knows what can happen. 2D's probably dead again. Pretty rough game. He did a lot of work in the mid-game to try to keep this game even, but really what it comes down to is this Razor's impact was not felt until about 30 minutes in. So, you know, he actually did some work in that fight against the Aegis Gyrocopter. The issue is at that point it was too late. You got to give credit to Clutch Gamers. They had a pretty good draft. They were able to deal with the Nature's Prophet split push rather easily. Even though they got one range racks at the end of the game, doesn't really matter. Pretty good stuff, I would say, overall for Clutch Gamers. So that's the end of Game 1. We got 3 more games to go tonight. 1 more in this series, so still